Good morning, my dear students of class 9. I welcome you all to this new class of social science where we are continuing with the chapter of economics, which is Story of Village Palanpur. Children, in the previous class, we discussed after the usage of new forms of techniques and scientific ways, will the land sustain? Then we saw a judicial usage and what effects were being put on the land once we started using new scientific technologies. Now let us come to the next topic of the chapter, which is how is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur. Children, you must have realized how important land is for farming. Of course, farming cannot be done in air or on water. Land has to be there for farming. Unfortunately, not all the people engaged in agriculture have sufficient land for cultivation. Underline these lines in your books because questions will be frequently asked on these points. So, not every farmer or not every person engaged in agriculture in Palampur is having his own piece of land. In Palampur, important line now, in Palampur, about 1/3 of the 450 families are landless. 1/3 are landless, which means 150 families, most of them Dalits, have no land for cultivation. This much is clear. How many families do not have their own land? You will write approximately 150 families, or 1/3 of the 450 families do not have their own land for cultivation. Next point, more than half of the area of village is covered by plots, and that are quite large in size because the higher section of the village were having their own pieces of land and they were highly developed. So majority of the land was divided and people were owning it, and it was distributed into plots. So in Palampur there are 60 families of medium, underline this, and large farmers who cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. A few of the large farmers have land extending over 10 hectares or more. So you see the slab, in total 150 families have no land. Then in Palampur there are 60 families of medium category and large farmers of medium and large farmers. Medium farmers who have moderate land, large farmers who have big land, who cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. So 60 families cultivate more than 2 hectares of land, and a few of the large farmers have their land extending over 10 hectares of land. So after this, the next topic says who will provide the labor. We saw 60 families were landless. Then out of those, some medium and large were having 2 hectares and some were having more than 10 hectares. Who is going to provide labor for these pieces of land to do farming? Then the answer is, after land, labor is the next necessary step or the factor which is important for production. You have the land, but there is nobody to work over that land. Who is going to grow crops over it? Nobody. Therefore, and if you have the worker ready, there is no land, nowhere you can do farming. So the most important is land. The most important. This question is frequently being asked. Mention the most important factor of production, and then you will answer land. Right? So after land, second important factor of production is labor. Because if you have the land ready, nobody is there to work. Who is going to work? So labor is the next necessary factor for production. Farming requires a great deal of hard work. Small farmers along with their families cultivate their own fields. Who have their own fields, they will come with their family and they will cultivate. They provide the labor required for farming themselves. Medium and large farmers hire farm laborers to work on their fields. Those who have very small pieces of land, they will do the farming with their own family members. So they are providing laborers on their own. Now medium farmers and large farmers, how will they get the work done? Because it is 2 hectares of land or sometimes more. So they will hire laborers. Like in any field, you get that work done and you will hire some laborers and the work will be done. The next important factor of production, which is capital now. So labor is being provided like this. Those who have their own small piece, they will work on their own. Those who have medium and large land, they will hire. Capital is the modern farming, capital needed in farming actually. The modern farming methods require large amount of capital, so that the farmer now needs more money than before. You have two farmers, Ram and Sham. Ram is still working with old style of farming, with the bullock cart and sowing the field and doing every work with his own hands, and no advanced technique he's adding on. So Sham, who is very advanced, having tractor and automatic tubers, electricity usage, pesticides, HYV seeds. So who is going to need more money for their production? Obviously Sham, because new advancements, new technologies, new farming methods need more amount of money to do farming. Most of the small farmers have to borrow the money. Now again, if a farmer is not adapting himself to the new style of farming, is he going to survive? His land will not going to produce more, and the others who are working with new technologies, their production will be more. So farmers have to borrow money to survive in this competition. Farmers have to borrow the money to arrange for their capital for the production, right? And they borrow the money from where? They will borrow money from large farmers or money lenders or the traders who will supply various inputs for production. Some people will take tractors on hire, some will take money to purchase seeds. In different form of loans, they will take it from money lenders and large farm holders or something like that. Now, the rate of interest on such loans is very high. These people, they charge more amount of interest if they are lending money to these small farmers. They are put to great distress to repay the loan. Firstly, the farmer is landless. Farmer is obviously not rich. Farmer is taking money, borrowing money, and then after borrowing money, children, he is being levied, he is being burdened with lot of high rate of interest. So all these situations are putting these small farmers in great distress. Is very pressurized situation. Now I hope this much is clear to everybody. Let us see the surplus sale of farm products. What happens when farmers produce the grains or the production is in surplus? There is a criteria how to deal with the surplus production in two ways. Number one, the farmers have produced wheat on their lands using three factors of production. Now the wheat is harvested and production is complete. What happens? Farmers keep some part of the wheat for their own family, right? And they sell the extra amount, the surplus amount of wheat to other shopkeepers in the towns and other cities. And other large medium farmers sell the surplus farm products, okay, a part of their earning. So you have understood, farmers divide their production in two types. First, they will keep some amount of portion for their own family, and the remaining portion, the surplus portion, is being sold off in the town, cities, or to large farmers. Now, what do they do after selling and they get money? A part of their earning is saved and kept for buying capital for the next season. This year you have produced wheat and you have earned good amount of money. Now for next year also you need to purchase seed and you need to invest. Then only you are going to get the result. No? So some amount of money, when they have sold the surplus wheat, they will keep it for their next purchase in the next season. Thus, they are able to arrange for their capital because they are keeping a share aside so that they don't need to borrow from others, right? And some farmers might also use the surplus money to buy cattle, trucks, or set up their shops. Obviously, children, when farmers get surplus wheat, they will sell and they will get good income, and whatever money they earn, either they will keep it for the next season's purchase or they will invest. They will invest in these tools and machineries like tractors or trucks or cattle, or they will set up some shops. So this is all the farmers used to do with the surplus farm products. In the next class, children, we will study non-farming activities. Till then, read the chapter, take care of yourselves. See you all in the next class. Bye bye and take care.